Welcome to the PowerGenius Home Energy Management System Certified Installer Training. Today we're looking at installing the PMM, the Power Management Module. The PMM has different use cases, so we'll look at each of those and also how to provision those use cases to the PMM across the customer's network. Each PMM can be used to monitor various scenarios, so it may be monitoring the grid and the solar at the same PMM, or a PMM may be used just to monitor the grid and another one used on the site just to monitor the solar. You can also use PMMs to monitor just loads, not grid or solar, and you can also download all the modules so that you can then configure it as you see fit on site. So the first use case is very simple. The grid comes into the same distribution board that the solar comes into, and one PMM is used on that phase to monitor the grid and to monitor the solar. All the calculations are then done within that PMM. The second scenario is that you have the grid coming into one switchboard and the solar coming into another switchboard, so you can use two PMMs in this case. And each PMM will be configured, one to monitor only the grid and one to monitor only the solar. And different software is downloaded into each. It's also worth noting at this point that the PMM can monitor the phase coming from the ripple control relay. This will enable the PMM to broadcast whether the network is in peak mode or off-peak mode, and the other PowerGenius controllers can respond accordingly. They can respond by turning off at a different import rate or by ignoring a low temperature signal such as in a hot water cylinder. At this stage, because there is a risk of ignoring low temperatures, the peak input module is disabled by default. When you select a profile when you're in provisioning, it will download modules according to that profile. So for the grid and solar profile, it will download the grid and solar module, grid broadcast, peak input, peak schedule, phase, and proportional control target. If you select the grid profile, it will download the local grid tile and also the grid broadcast, peak input, peak schedule, phase, and proportional control target. When you select the solar profile, the solar module and the phase module are downloaded into the PMM. The solar module also calculates the load, which is the difference between the grid broadcasted information and the solar production on the phase that you've selected. You can use the load monitor profile if you want to use the PMM to only monitor loads. That means that there is no solar calculation or grid broadcast. It is merely monitoring loads from the three CTs. Bear in mind that the PMM must be powered from the same phase that the CTs are monitoring. If you select the generic profile, this will download all the modules into the PMM, but it will not enable any of them. This means you have to go in manually and configure each module to suit the PMM. This is an advanced level of programming the PMM.